All right, we're going to go over the quiz for There Were Giants. Again, I feel like this story maybe was a little difficult to understand in parts of it. So if you pay really attention while I go over the quiz, you'll have some really good ideas on what the answers are. Okay, first question. At the beginning of the story, Marie sighs and thinks, not the legend again. I'm too old for this. What does that tell you about Marie? Is she lonely, confused, annoyed, or shivering? Okay. She's clearly annoyed. She's like, I'm too old for this. I don't need to hear this story again. The author includes the detail about Maria's school bus ride. What does that show you? Okay. How important education is, why Marie doesn't like the other kids, which lake is closest, or how far away and alone the cabin is. So, guys, that detail was there to help you understand the setting of the story. The cabin is isolated, it's far away. Gramps says it's always soft in the middle, treacherous, stay off the ice. What does treacherous mean? Well, if I tell you to stay off of it and that it's not ever frozen in the middle, then that's dangerous. It's not safe. So, unsafe. It's unsafe for her to walk across that lake. What does Marie use to help her get Gramps out of the snow and into the cabin? Okay, there was mention of the snowshoes, but to get Gramps out of the snow, she used a blanket. Okay, so sometimes that's confusing when one of the answer choices did help her in a way, but the way it helped is what's important here. So they're specifically talking about her getting Gramps out of the snow. Why does Marie describe Henry Benson as a superhero on ice? He's wearing a blanket like a cape. He appears suddenly to rescue her. He heard her calling for help, or his snowmobile sounds like Batman's Batmobile. He just kind of suddenly appeared. That's why she said, "Oh, you're like a superhero. You just suddenly appeared and you rescued me." Henry tells Marie that she kept Gramps alive by, what did she do? Holding his hand does stand out because that was a big part of the scene. But the thing she did that helped keep Gramps alive was the keeping him warm. And then 7 and 8, you're going to type answers. Describe the story setting. We talked about this earlier in the week. You're going to talk about that it's a cabin. It's by a lake out in the middle of nowhere. It's winter. There's a big snowstorm. All of those things are details you should include in describing the story setting. Why does Marie decide to cross the lake to get to the Bensons? Do you think this is a good decision? Why or why not? She went that way because it was shorter. She knew she could get there quicker. Do I think that was a good decision? You can say yes or no. You can say, no, it was not a good decision because she could have hurt herself and then she would have been hurt and nobody would have known about Gramps. Or you can say, yes, it was a good decision because she was able to quickly get help for Gramps. Okay, that's a question where either answer is going to be acceptable as long as you can prove your answer. If you need any more help, let us know. Like I said, I do feel like this was a harder read maybe for some of us than what we have been having the past couple weeks.